All righty, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We could have a moment of silence, please. Okay, I want to welcome everybody here who's watching or will be watching. Next item is a roll call. Today I'm going to start with Commissioner Stephen.
Here.
Mr. Culberson.
Here.
Cause.
Here.
Mike Smith here. Mr. Doug Smith.
Here.
All right. On public comment, we have three people that asked to speak. Remember, if you'd come up to the podium, and there's a 3-minute time limit. Cayenne Caprice. I've been caught a lot of things, but not that. But go ahead.
I'm going to waive my time and give it to Mr. Reynolds after speaking with him. Raymond Reynolds is set to speak as well.
Yeah, he's speaking, but we by the way the policy's set up, only 3, so I'd prefer you to go ahead.
He would like to go first then.
Okay, good. Okay. Great. No order, whichever y'all choose. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Raymond Reynolds. Good morning to the commissioners, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you guys. You'll be glad to know that I got rid of my burn pile, and there will be no more burning for me. I do have a photo of it. If you have not received it from Planning and Zoning, we did send it to them. And all delivery drivers know not to unload on the road. We've notified them. I also believe there was a lot of miscommunication with Planning and Zoning. And also my neighbor also emailed my attorney a letter about the miscommunication that they had at the same time in 2018. But I can assure you that there will be no more miscommunication and that we will follow all of the rules and comply. As for 2008, that was settled, and I believe it should not have been brought up. The question is why was it brought up? And why wasn't it brought up years ago? Not just months ago, years ago. And to bring it up 2 days before the hearing is a sight blind. I don't believe that Mr. Van Paris operates this way, to dig up people's past after 13 years of something that he settled. I just don't believe that he did that. I believe this is possibly something personal and possibly even retaliation. And I do thank you for listening. If you have any questions for me, please ask me, and I do hope and pray that you approve my SUP.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Lisa Reynolds?
Oh, I wasn't speaking.
Oh, okay. Had you down here just in case you wanted to, okay?
Okay.
County's coming back to you. Did you want?
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. I will just support the statements of my client here this morning. And also, I think the other point we wanted to make, which I think he forgot, is there will not be any customers coming to the property to pick up materials or anything like that. That was one of the questions from one of the commissioners last time. And then I would just rely on his statements and what I submitted to the board in writing for today.
All right. Well,
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
That's all burning. There will be no burning, period.
No burn.
Period.
No burn.
Period at all. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All righty, we'll move on with the rest of it. Not any administrative business. I had one thing I just wanted to check. I think I'm too big. Any other commissioners going to go to the Lansing Leavenworth Chamber banquet that's in January? They've started their annual banquet. I'm going to go. I didn't know if any of us.
Did we get invitations for that?
Yeah, it's out there. The reason I'm asking is because if there's going to be 3 of us, I want to make sure that we.
We'll probably put it
Put it on the agenda.
Just to be on the safe side.
Mark, you want to put it on there for us? We know there's 2 of us.
I'll go since it's Leavenworth.
Yeah, no.
I'll go.
Okay. Mark, did you have anything for the group?
I do have a couple of items today, Commissioners. First, there's an item on the consent agenda that we need to have removed. It's the Roman Ridge topic. There needs to be an amendment made to the face of the plat, something the Planning and Zoning Commission had asked to have added, notation about the location of a quarry and how close it is to the quarry. That wasn't added to the plat, and so that just needs to be removed. So planning, when you make your motion, we can include that. And then the other item, it's not really an item, I guess, but this time of year, obviously, everybody's getting ready for the holidays, and we're all rushing around, and sometimes we forget to remember everybody who has made this a successful year. And since next week it will be New Year's, but this is the week before Christmas, I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that people don't understand what all the county is involved in. And so I just wanted to recognize the people who make the county what it is today. And first of all, I'm just going to kind of go through the list of all the departments, and sometimes these departments have divisions within them. So it's a lengthy list, and I'll try to move through it, and hopefully I do not leave anybody out. And I'm sure if I do, they'll remind me later. So just kind of going down the list, I'm going to start with our courts across the street. While people may not understand, they are not necessarily part of the county. They definitely work with the county. They're something that we support throughout the year, and we're thankful that they're here and the successful that they have. And we understand the backlog that they're facing right now, and so this next year is going to be a challenge for them. Community Corrections, which is also across the street. They are funded primarily through the state, but it's definitely a department of the county, and we're thankful for everything that they've done this past year and the changes that they've went through, and just some amazing leadership going on there. Our IT department, which gets beat up a little bit because whenever somebody's computer doesn't turn on or their phone doesn't ring right, it's those guys' fault for some reason, but they always pull through and fix it for us. The county counselor, there's probably not a lot nice to say about him, but that's a pretty impressive mustache he's sporting right now. So
I understand that comment.
I appreciate all the work he does for us throughout the year. Our road and bridge department, I just can't really, amazing department. They've this year we're able to accomplish more with chip sealing than I think we have in probably maybe in history, but for certain the last 7 or 8 years they were able to complete more miles this year than the previous years. So doing a great job, and I know they're very thankful there is no forecast of snow for the rest of this year. So they might get to actually spend Christmas with their families. Our GIS department's a department that not a lot of people maybe even realize is downstairs. We don't see them a lot, but all the maps, especially like last week when we were working on the redistricting maps, they put in a lot of time and effort on that and updated census numbers, so appreciate them for what they do. Public Works in general, the rest of the department downstairs, I think it's important to, they probably get a lot of the press because they're up here a lot with a lot of things, but I just appreciate what they do. And again, the change in that department over the last few years has just been amazing. Appreciate what they're doing. Buildings and grounds, we've added a big chunk of building this year with the hospital that they're now responsible for. So I think everybody can also acknowledge that even though it's brown right now, our yard out front has been looking better and better each year. They've really focused on that to make the courthouse appealing. When people come, they realize we have a lot of pride in our buildings, and I appreciate what they're doing for us. The transfer station, I believe we had one of our busiest years ever. The director at the transfer station completed her Certified Public Management certificate this year. I'm really proud of her for that. And we, again, had a very clean surprise audit by the state. They have that each year. And since Tammy has been there, I believe they've had a clean inspection each year. So appreciate that from her. The Council on Aging, I think we all understand the challenges they've faced in the past 2 years, really. And with the Meals on Wheels, how important that is. Over half of the people who get that's the only meal they receive throughout the week. So just thankful for their staff that they've been able to pull through, even with all the COVID and everything else, they've been able to pull through, and people are not missing their meals and all the other events that they sponsor throughout the year. So appreciate that. The Health Department and EMS, I don't think that any department's been impacted more than them as far as the COVID has been for them with the vaccination clinics they do weekly, thousands of people that they've been able to handle. Appreciate what they're doing out there, and I know they've spent a lot of time away from their families this past year and with the overtime and everything else. And, not for naught, but they're exposed daily to a virus. It's just the nature of their job, and they still show up and do it. And I really appreciate what they've done out there for both Health Department and EMS. The Appraiser's Office, I know there's been the last few years, they get, sometimes picked on for things in the media and in social media, and it's not their fault, but they've done a great job. I think we have a great appraiser team, and that crew, even though they're not the most popular job, they do a great job with it. I want to say thanks to them. Our Planning and Zoning Department, they're another department that's in here on a regular basis, and they probably don't get told enough that we appreciate the job that they do, and I just want to acknowledge that this last year is a normal year for them probably, but still, I respect the work they do and thankful for them being here. Human Resources, which is part of the Clerk's Department right now, thankful for them. Again, they have to track a lot of what we're doing with the CARES Act funds that came last year and the ARP funds this year, so we appreciate what they do as well. The County Attorney's Office, appreciate what they do over there with prosecutions. I know last year they were they had no cases going on, but they were working on other things, and now this year they get to make up for having no cases last year, so their workload's going to be about 4 to 5 times what it normally is, sounds like. The Sheriff's Office, appreciate what they do, and then within the Sheriff's Office, all the departments appreciate all that goes on across the street and behind the scenes, and remember that those folks and EMS as well are out there on Christmas when we're enjoying it with our families. They're out working and making sure that we're all safe. The Register of Deeds Department, a lot of changes have happened there in the last year. It looks like we're moving in the right direction with getting some online things going on. Appreciate the work that they do as well. And then the Treasurer's Office, I think everybody interacts with them on a regular basis, and you don't probably want to. And so they do get beat up a lot, but it's a very important and vital role in our county as well. Appreciate what they do. The Clerk's Office, appreciate what they do. We have an item on the agenda today that probably one of the most important things we do each year is set our budget. Without the Clerk's Department, it would be impossible for us to do that. Appreciate what they do and thankful for them being here. Board of County Commissioners, I probably tease you guys a lot, and I don't tell you as much that I need to, that I really appreciate having the board that I have right now. It's been very stable. We're working towards a lot of good things, and I hope we all keep that in mind. Not everything is easy, and the tough decisions are lay on your guys' laps, and I'm glad that you're here to make those decisions. Appreciate that. And last but not least, I want to recognize the administrative assistant that we have in our department, because she makes sure that the lights come on every morning and the doors are open and that we all show up for the meetings we're supposed to show up for. So I appreciate Becky as well. And that's what I had today on
Thank you, Mark.
administrative business.
Appreciate it. And that's very true of those employees out there. I got to see them, after being in Lansing, when I was 70 employees, I very well appreciate that. But then I got to come up here and see the hundreds. And I have to say to the county commissioners, when I first came up here, I thought there was going to be a lot of issues. And, yeah, we do not always agree all the time, and sometimes it can get a little heated. But I just see we're going forward so much, and I respect their opinion, and that's what they were elected to do. So I want to hats off to everybody. And, Mark, I know I visit with you a lot, especially being an old city manager. I don't want to get in your way, but sometimes I like to bounce things off you just to see. And one of the things that we were able to do that I was very pleased with was we went with the new health provider let us lower the mill levy by a half, and we were sure looking to try to find a way to do that, and I knew we would, but sometimes you just got to dig in those numbers. So I appreciate everything everybody's doing, and anybody else want to?
I think we need to honor our retired employees over the past year.
I see one of
we
them.
have one here today, Mr. Getz. We had quite a few retired this last year.
Yeah, saw that.
So we appreciate the years and dedication they put in for the county.
And we do appreciate our county administrator
And we
as
do
well.
appreciate our county administrator, and county council, and county clerk, and all the rest
I'd
of
like
elected
to fulfill
officials.
my end of the bargain and offer my compliments to your county administrator. He brings a level of professionalism that I think has long been needed in this county. But I think he brings more than that. He's a true humanitarian, and I think in the spirit of Christmas, I'd go so far as to characterize Mark as the Mother Teresa of county administrator.
You know, David, I've heard him call a lot of things my last year here, but that
don't
was
think
not
that was it.
one of them. But I do agree with what you're trying to say.
Right.
Yeah.
I should have made him go first.
You know how attorneys are. All right, Mike, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I just say,
Obviously, he has switched from one religion to the other.
I just want to say dittos to everything that Mark said, but I especially want to express appreciation to both Mark and Becky. And Becky takes a lot of the calls that come in here. She takes them, and it's very appreciated. And I just I appreciate it. And did have one thing to bring up. I think most of the commissioners received an email about possibility of having a open forum with the health department, and I did communicate with those folks that I didn't think that. And my personal view is that that's really not appropriate. But if they have questions that they want to have addressed, get them to Mark, get them to one of the commissioners, and we can get the questions answered. But I don't think having those type of forums don't tend to.
Productive.
They don't tend to produce the results that you think they would. And I do think in January maybe we should have the health officer come and give a report. I don't know if he's on the agenda.
I don't see no problem with an update. I mean, it doesn't have to be a long thing, but it's been a while since he was up here. And with the new strain that's come out, maybe it's not a bad idea. I know Jamie's busy, so I don't have a problem as long as he can fit in the schedule. So, now the commissioners,
Yep.
y'all okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Mark, if you make that happen for us. Mike, anything else?
That's all. And thank all my fellow commissioners. I know it's rough and tumble up here, but we all appreciate each other, and I think this board works together pretty good, and I think we are headed the right direction. I don't always agree on everything, but
Nah.
that's just the way it is.
Thank you, Mike. Jeff, do you have anything you want to add? Vicki? Okay. All righty then. Mark, was anything else you needed?
Just the item number F on the consent.
Just remove
Roman
item number
Ridge
F
removed.
from the consent agenda.
Yeah, that's where I was getting ready to
Is that
go.
all we need to do?
There's no administrative business anymore. And we'll go ahead to consent agenda. Like Doug says, is that the only one thing that needs to be removed? Is somebody give me a motion on that?
I'll move, Mr. Chairman, that we approve the consent agenda minus the case number DV 21-171 and 178 Roman Ridge Estates.
Second.
177.
177.
Yep.
Second.
Motion and second discussion. I'll call the roll. Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Mr. Culberson?
Aye.
Mr. Cos?
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner
Aye.
Smith? Okay.
And if we could, I'll have Crystal just do the Roman Ridge since it was on the consent agenda. Real quick.
Okay. Morning, Crystal.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sorry about that. All we need to do is we just need to make a condition that they are going to add a note to the face of the plat stating that it is within proximity to an active quarry so that anyone who purchases a lot in that subdivision knows that it's next to an active quarry. So that was what the Planning Commission had requested. So I just need a motion to add that condition to the face of the plat.
Can we add that it'll probably end up being a landfill eventually to that sentence? I think people aren't going to put two and two together. Maybe we should put it in black and white. Could possibly be a landfill in the future. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
That is the county's quarry, so that would obviously be a county decision.
That's not the wording we used when we did it to the other folks, so we probably should be consistent.
Okay. That's fine. Hopefully they can figure that out.
And shooting range.
It's better than nothing. Yeah.
And shooting
Yeah, and/or shooting range.
So just if
Buyer
part of your
beware.
motion for approval, if you could just include the
Buyer
Is
beware.
it, it's on the plat that it's not, it's like a plat restriction or a deed restriction?
Sorry, David.
Commissioner Smith, it would just be an annotation to the plat.
Okay. And then
Okay, someone want to give me a motion on that?
So moved. So moved.
So moved.
I'll second it.
And second, any more discussion on that? Okay, I'll start. Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
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 All right, taking care of it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, Chris.
All righty. Moving on to formal board action. Consider a motion to approve a letter of support for Goodwill of Western Missouri and Eastern Kansas.
Commissioners, Kristen with the Goodwill is here, and she can kind of clue you in on why this request and answer any questions.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Kristen. I work with Goodwill of Western Missouri and Eastern Kansas. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization that operates donated goods resale stores, and we have one here in Leavenworth. We also do janitorial contracts where we employ folks with documented different abilities here in Fort Leavenworth as well as at the Federal Building in Kansas City. And our primary mission is about workforce development. We provide community-facing services to individuals with barriers that are seeking employment, and we help them explore careers, gain new skills, and then earn and keep jobs so they can support themselves and their families. With the Good Jobs Challenge that the federal government and EDA is putting forward, Goodwill is planning to apply for that as part of a joint application with our parent organization, Goodwill Industries International. And if awarded, this would bring millions of dollars in resources to our 9-county region that we're proposing to serve. And this would be for us to create a sector partnership in support of the manufacturing and advanced manufacturing industry here in the Kansas City area, including Leavenworth County. So our goal would be to collaborate with local employers as well as other training providers and government entities and funders to put together a really comprehensive approach to identifying people that need jobs or need to transition to new types of jobs, to provide them the training that they need to be successful in in-demand manufacturing fields, and then to place them into local manufacturing positions. So that's our purpose. Part of the requirement of the grant is to have at least one government-based letter of support for a 501c3 organization like ours. We have achieved that already, but because we're proposing to serve a 9-county area, we would really love to see a majority or 100% of the counties express support for this and show that it aligns with the economic development goals that we have all throughout the region. So that's what I'm here to request today, a letter of support, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
It's pretty clear.
Yeah,
No,
I think we're for it.
That's, there's money to be out there to be applied for.
I don't have an issue with it. If no one does, could I get a motion?
Motion to approve a letter of support for Goodwill Industry, for the chairman to sign a letter of support for Goodwill Industry of Western Missouri and Kansas.
Second. Motion is second. Any discussion? Mr. Stephen?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank
There
you
you go.
for all you
Thank you.
do.
Made it easy for you. Thank you. All right, next item is consider a motion to approve the budget amendment document as presented by the county clerk. Good morning.
Morning. Each year, we go through the budgets and we look at each individual fund to determine if a budget amendment is necessary. In your packet, you can see the funds that we need to amend this year for Leavenworth County. Solid waste, the reason solid waste, it's usually a fund that we have to amend each year due to the fact that Tammy not only took in additional funds, but the additional work that came in, required more of the trucking out. And so solid waste, a couple years ago, that fund is entirely supported not through a mill levy, which is very amazing, and her cash overflow is very substantial moving forward. So we would like to amend solid waste. We have bond and interest. This is also another fund that we have to normally amend each year. We did have an additional payment due to the temporary notes that we changed over into GO bonds, so because of that, we have to amend bond and interest. Treasurer's Tech Fund, that's also a fund that a lot of times we have to amend due to the fact that she pays the tax statement out of, to send to all of the individuals. And a lot of times we don't know what that exact cost is going to be. This fund is also self-supported. It is not supported by any mill levy. 911 taxes. 911 has to be amended. Chuck did have an additional upgrade to towers, which I believe is probably why that fund needed to be amended, which was a little over $37,000 as an upgrade that he had to do this year. Chuck is here if the commissioners, after I go through all these funds, have any questions for him. We have the 2006 10-year sales tax. There was a little bit of funds left in there, around $45,000. We would like to close that fund out because we no longer have any payments coming in from the city of Tonganoxie. That was cleared, and so the $45,000 we're able to move to general fund. And so in order to close that fund, we will need to have the budget amendment for that. The 20-year sales tax. This is also a fund that we have to amend quite a bit of the time. You guys had some amazing work, and the Public Works Department did some amazing capital projects that came out of this fund, and so we need to amend it. And then, of course, there's the American Recovery Plan. Back when we set the budget, we weren't even aware of any type of those funds that were going to come in. And in visiting with our auditor, it's not necessarily something that we have to do, but the firm did feel that it was a good idea to add on to the budget amendment. So if anyone has any questions, those are the funds. Those are funds that we normally have to amend. All of our other funds, as Mark indicated earlier, stayed within their budgets. If they did not, it was due to expectations that were made clear to us throughout the year. So I would just need then a motion to approve the amended budget for the 2021 calendar year.
Commissioners, y'all have any questions? Mark, you have anything you want to add?
No, just, again, there's no change to any levies or anything like that. These are our typical end-of-year adjustments.
Yeah, everybody goes through them. Okay.
I have just one question that's kind of off. I don't know if it even relates to this exactly, but if we did receive the funds from the FEMA recovery for the tornado, where would those be allocated?
We would allocate those to the road and bridge.
That's where it came from.
Yeah, I think next week, actually, we have some board orders that are going to address some of that.
Okay.
And what year? Never mind.
Well, Mr. McGaha's in the room.
Okay.
We sure was more money from the 06 sales tax.
Yep.
Left over to
I agree.
projects the voters voted to pass.
Yeah.
Pass that sales tax.
Well, we're taking care of the ones of the present. I like to see, trying our best.
Probably
to
ought in the future go back and
take a look at
what
them.
the voters passed.
Yep. That's a good point. Any other questions or comments on the amendment? If not, I'll take a motion, please. I'll do it. A motion to approve the budget amendment document as presented by the county clerk.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Mr. Stephen?
Aye.
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 All right.
Okay, I will leave these, the document with Becky for signatures by the board
Okay.
sometime today, before the first of the year.
All right. Next item is consider a motion to approve resolution 2021-57 for the reapportment of the county commission districts of Leavenworth County. Couldn't get that out.
Last week, there was support by the Board of County Commissioners for the reapportionment of Leavenworth County. Today is the resolution to make that a final map, a final declaration of the different precincts associated with each commission district. The resolution does go in conjunction with the map that was approved last week.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that we approve Resolution 2021-57 for the reapportionment of the County Commission districts of Leavenworth County.
I'll second it.
I see 2021-52, then I see 2021-57.
That's the next item on the agenda is 2050.
Oh, I'm already jumping
52,
down.
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry,
Yep.
folks. I got a motion. Did I have a second on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, any discussion? Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
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 All right, 4-1. Thank you. Good work on that. Let's try this again now. Consider a motion to approve Resolution 2152, a special use permit for Forever Fencing.
Mr. Chairman, for the purpose of discussion, I'd like to make a motion.
Go right ahead.
I'd like to move that we approve Resolution 2021-52 with additional conditions that there be no burning allowed, period, at all at the location, and that all required documents be provided prior to the initiation of the resolution.
What about a one-year permit? I know you didn't
For
have a
1
problem with
year,
that last time. I saw.
probationary period of 1 year.
Okay. Got a motion.
What kind of documents are you talking about?
Go ahead, Jim.
Well,
I'll second it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, motion second. Go ahead.
well, I understood from planning and zoning there was a document that the state hadn't provided.
Is we still have not received their certificate of tax clearance, which we've asked for twice now.
And it's stuck in this bureaucracy at the state. My understanding is
That's what the applicant has informed us of, but I don't know.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, I have a motion and a second. I'll call the roll. Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Overson?
Nay.
Commissioner Cos?
Nay.
Aye.
Nay.
Fails 3-2. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. All right, presentation discussions. I think we have, before we go on, we have Mac McCowan. Is he out there? Somebody check.
The public comment,
Yeah, that's where we're at, right?
yeah, if you want to do that, additional public comment.
Yeah, then we can go over the other.
Maybe out in the hall.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Do you need that on?
We can hear you.
Fine.
We can hear you.
We need
All
it
right.
because
My
of
name is
the-
Mac McCowan, and I'm a Leavenworth resident. Welcome to day 646 of 15 days to slow the spread. I sent each of you a request to convene a public hearing so we could discuss COVID vaccinations and public health policy in our county. I want to thank Commissioners Culbertson and Steben for actually engaging me in dialogue, as responses from elected officials have been in short supply these last 2 years, so I appreciate your time and your comments, both of you. I and others in this county have numerous concerns that have never been answered by public health officials. What are the statistics that support our county vaccinating perfectly healthy children when they are not at risk of death due to COVID? It is well established that natural immunity is better than vaccine-induced immunity. If the children are not at risk of serious injury or death, why would we inoculate them with an experimental gene therapy that has no long-term safety studies. The County Board of Health has never answered this question, nor has our county health department. Based on the fact that we have had 0 deaths of children in our county under the age of 17 in the last 2 years, I, in good conscience, could not vaccinate a healthy child if I worked at our health department. How can you, the Board of Health, or our health department, prove a benefit to vaccination when no child has died? I would like for you to tell me the near and long-term risk of these vaccinations, but I know you can't. Why does our health department take part in the CDC and the KDHE Test to Stay and Learn program that actively discriminates against students based on their vaccination status? With no long-term safety studies, any child that is vaccinated essentially becomes part of an experimental research project. To me, it appears that the Test to Stay and Learn program is a soft form of government coercion and enticement to get parents to inject their kids with an unlicensed medical product. You will find multiple flaws with the program if you look at it closely. Never in the course of humanity have we ever vaccinated one group that is not at risk to protect another group. I would hope that in this county we would be morally superior to that. Please let me know what I need to do to obtain the venue that I've requested from you all. I will gladly remain after this meeting to engage any commissioner or any attendee in an effort to address this ongoing medical overreach. None of this COVID nonsense will end unless we make it end. Thank you for your time.
Did you hear the beginning of the meeting today?
No, sir, I did not.
Yeah, we said that if you want to address any of your questions, then the commissioners or send it to Mark. He can get your questions addressed by the county health officer, and the county health officer will be coming to give a report to us so we can have those questions addressed.
Okay, thank you. I'll go back.
We've asked for that for the next few weeks, so I expect we'll have it first of the year or sometime like that, as soon as we can get. But we just need the questions, and then we'll have Jamie, and we've asked for Jamie to come before the board because it's been a little while. We want to get updated ourselves. So any questions y'all want to send, now's a good time.
Okay, and I'll go back and listen to the recording at the start of the meeting. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks, Mac.
Thank you, Mac.
Thank you.
Commissioner, we had 2 other people after we've started the meeting asked to speak again during public comment at the
Okay.
end. It's at your discretion whether you allow it, so I just wanted to bring it up. Ms. Cayenne Caprice and Mr. Raymond Reynolds have asked to speak a second time.
Did y'all want to speak again? Yes, ma'am. Come on up.
Attack me personally.
I will.
Members of the board, I had made a request that Commissioner Smith recuse himself from voting on this matter. And obviously that didn't happen. I know that request was before the board, before the voting occurred. I do think there's a personal bias that is there and why he is voting against forever fencing. So, I think that should have occurred. He should have recused himself.
Okay. Appreciate your comments. Thank you. Sir, did you have any?
I was just going to say that I believe Doug Smith broke a code of conduct of the county commissioners. He also broke Kansas statutes voting against me, or even staying up there to vote against me. He was biased. I want to tell you a short story. I was speaking to a potential customer, and customer about a fence repair, and the customer said that he would not be able to pay for it, and that his neighbor or his landlord would be able to pay for it. Not knowing it was Doug Smith's house, I went next door. I knocked on the door. I said, "Hi, I'm Raymond with Forever Fencing."
Okay.
Came to the door,
Okay.
and he cussed me out, told me I
Okay.
screwed the county. So
Okay.
I know he is biased against me. He should
Commissioners,
step down.
typically we don't allow people
I
to
appreciate
attack
your comments, but that's
individuals.
good. That's good. Thank you. And it's been voted on. It was turned down 3-2. Okay. Did I miss anybody? Mark, anybody else?
One
Mike, go
question,
ahead.
just to clarify with our attorney. It is the discretion of commissioners to determine if they should recuse themselves or not. And typically it's only with their financial interest. It's discretionary, correct?
Commissioners, each of you has a duty based upon the oath of office that you took to weigh matters impartially and to the best benefit of the citizens of Leavenworth County and in compliance with the United States, State of Kansas constitutions, and the laws of the State of Kansas. Absent a clear conflict of interest, you also have the duty to actually serve in your positions, and that is to render decisions, difficult whether they may be or as easy as they may be. So my response to your question would be if there was a direct financial interest involved, that's a clear conflict of interest, and it would be your duty to recuse yourself. Absent that, it is discretionary and based upon the judgment of the individual members of this board whether they can no longer fulfill their functions, as I outlined earlier, as county commissioners.
Okay, thank you. Let's look at the presentation and discussion of the county commissioners. Mike, do you have anything for the group?
Not that I
That's unbelievable.
I can't think of anything right at the moment.
That's unbelievable. Okay, Jeff?
Met with Senator Robles yesterday and talked to him about some state issues, LABTR, demand transfers, 152 bridge, same old items that we've been working on with the state. And also, I've got the City of Easton lined up to pass an ordinance for the no Jake brake signs for the Easton landfill. The first meeting, I think, in January, they're going to pass that or vote on that. That's about it.
Vicki?
Nope, just wishing everyone a safe holiday weekend. Merry Christmas if you celebrate Christmas, or continued celebration of Hanukkah if that is your, or whatever religious
You want to know what your belief?
celebration is your beliefs.
That's right. Okay, I had just a couple. One, I was fortunate for a second year there's a thing called Unity in the Community. I'm not sure y'all are familiar with.
Jermaine?
Yeah, Jermaine. I've been involved with that. This is the second year we've been able to give away gifts to kids. And I'm telling you, people in Leavenworth County are very generous. We really had more gifts than we could give away. So I'm very pleased with that. The second thing is Santa told me to tell you other county commissioners he's been watching you, so keep yourself in line.
I'll get a rock.
He's not even sure about that this year, Vicki, I'm telling you. Anyway, that's all I had. Doug?
I just attended Mayor retirement, and you did too.
Yeah, enjoyed that.
Had to leave because I had storm damage. So, and then when we go into this ribbon cutting out at Harbor Freight?
They keep putting off stuff that needs to come in, getting them shipped in.
Okay.
I don't
so we
know.
don't have a date?
I didn't this last week, but I've heard, and I'll be talking to Tim this evening. I think it's heading in January now, but I could be wrong. But I'll lock in a date. But I know they're working inside, because I stopped by. But I don't think all the material they need or the supplies. It's like anywhere else. It's hard to get them in.
Yeah, it's too bad they weren't open for the holiday.
Oh yeah, there'll be a lot of
missed out on a lot.
sales tax dollars.
Well, we missed out on a lot, I guess.
And I've had a few in my garage too.
I need to make sure I know what that day is so I can bring my pickup.
I
see
did
that locked
participate in Friday night's retirement celebration of Steve Jack, and that was a very nice.
Yeah, I went to see him early because
I couldn't.
the doctor's still checking my knee, and I know Mike was there, and I had a chance to talk with Steve. A good conversation for about 45 minutes with him, and wished him well. And we're talking about these coins that we're all agreed to give. This has been the person I would have given a coin to for what he's done for the mission that he was given and over there. Not the mission that we're all looking at, but the mission he was given. So I wish him the best, and I'm sure we'll see him around anyway.
The JC coins.
The JC.
You won't give that up, will you, Jeff? Jeff, anything else?
No.
Okay. Mike?
I just wondered, are there two shorty clauses?
Yeah. Yeah, you're a funny man. Okay, Mark, do you have anything else? My favorite attorney?
Just my best wishes for the holidays, Commissioner.
Me too. At that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Commissioner?
Aye.
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 All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.